for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quest for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tombiz, and joining me once again will be Just Harry GG. And we are going to be going into what could potentially be our final map. I personally think it may be, as Tengri have looked phenomenal on this map so far. While going up against Team Spirit Academy, who in the last map looked pretty lackluster, it has to be said. Harry, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like I share your sentiment a lot there. Spirit Academy really kind of yet to bring too much to the table, I feel like. And, you know, they did good earlier on today. Mirage has been an interesting one, though. You compare it to their best map, which is Inferno, which they just played up against Tengri and got completely wrecked on. Moving into now Tengri's, best map. I'm not feeling too confident for them here.
I think we definitely need to see a big turnaround. Romy in their first match of the day was absolutely incredible, and from what we've seen a little bit later on, like versus Vega, he just wasn't on the map, and in the previous map he wasn't there either. I think he needs to step up. Nickelback had his moments on the T side, but it's kind of hard to say how they would have performed on the CT side. And, well, in the ult battle for sure, Ramzik was miles and miles above Luke in that previous map, and the thing is, Inferno, you can sort of get away with not even using the ult. On Mirage, it's going to be a pinnacle factor. It always is. I don't think there's any matches where there's sort of problems. Looking like the console's going to buy these players a little bit of time to warm up. Obviously, in terms of the way things are going today, the winner of this best of 3 is the second team through after Vega Squadron got through in 2-0 fashion. And tomorrow we will have another 4 teams actually playing off, try and get themselves through to the final 2 days where we will have our playoffs and of course our finals. And I'm really looking forward to this. Tomorrow, obviously, we got Team Spirit, a team like obviously their academy playing right now, still has the chance to get through, but the daddy team with Starix involved, I'm very excited to see. And well, I'll let you say a little bit more about them in a minute, but for me as well, I get to see Quantum Bellator with Quick, who's obviously someone I've enjoyed watching for quite a while from Lithuanian CS, so quite happy to see him in a CIS team. And I think last time with the Lithuanians, they finished 3rd, so he's obviously hoping to do a little bit better this time.
Yeah, I mean, Group B has quite a few heavy hitters in it, and that's going to be interesting to see. As you said, that's all going to be going on tomorrow. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, we had Tom. It's day 3, right, where we have the semi-finals between the winners from Group A and Group B, and that's all going on then, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, all the semi-finals, and then I think on the last day we have the decider match. So the way it works. So you've got the 2 semi-finals, then the losers play and the winners play. The winner obviously goes straight through. And then it's the decider match will be between the winner of the loser match and the loser of the winner match.
Yeah.
And then that team is the one that gets through to the final stage. I think that's pretty much exactly the same as it's always been. I don't think anything's really changed in the minors for a while.
But anyway, the second map of tonight's last best of 3 is going to be underway. Tengri already 1-0 up in the series, heading into Mirage, which is their map pick, and arguably their best map in CS. So, going to be interesting to see how this one pans out, given that we already saw them wreck TS Academy on Inferno, which is their best map, and already Tengri charging out towards the A bomb site, going to be doing the damage, but it's Nickelback to quickly find 2 and connected that could put a stop to this push. The bomb has crossed onto the site and will be going down. There's a boost employed over in CT, which catches Sonic completely unaware. And the retake coming on in. Tengri with their backs against the wall, fighting to try and stay alive, but it's all on Pachanga. 1v5. They've hardly done anything. He's trying to hold it back. He does get 1. but Luke is quick to shut him down. Tengri, they get the bomb plant, but they lose the pistol.
Yeah, an important start as well. Team Spirit Academy. Now, in the previous CT side, the very short CT side that we saw on Inferno, they actually did get broken by a force buy, but it doesn't look like we're going to see too much of an investment. Pachanga with the extra kill will get himself the Deeg. I think he also got the plant as well, so that's an extra few $100 in his account as well. Fitch will go for a Deagle in turn, and that could be a little bit more costly as it may not allow him to buy an AK in the next round with armor if he is not careful. Maybe if he gets a kill, could do some extra damage, make things costly for this CT side. And interestingly, they've gone heavy on the rifles. A lot of the team like to pick up SMGs in these sort of rounds to try and make some money, but when knowing that the AKs are likely to be coming in, other than that, it would have been a force buy in this round, it is a lot safer to go for this sort of weaponry. The only problem that could occur, they really don't have any stopping power, so the chance of getting onto the site is actually fairly high, unless, of course, they just get mowed down.
Yeah, which is looking to be the case right now. Struggling to make their way out with the very limited buy they do have. And well, Fitch able to find one, actually. Romney's going to hit the deck, so could give them their leeway on in. Fitch trying to approach in from ramp. Could be the difference maker. I mean, Luke's tagged down at 23 HP. He's dead in one shot to the Deagle. I think it's 2 to the P250 at this range, so he's not looking too healthy. Over in CT, Nickelback going to take the peek and does find 2. Just shutting this down. Ramzik now 1v3, actually. He does drop out Luke before he goes down. Can't even feel like it should be mopped up by Nickelback, who right now is really pulling his weight for TS Academy in the early stages of this game. The buy now can come in from Tengri. It's going to be AKs across the board. A little bit of utility up behind it as well for them to try and use. TS Academy going to be returning with a buy of their own.
Yeah, and they've got the AWP very early in this game, which, as said, I feel like is going to be a pinnacle factor. Luke was unable to get it too much, but again, this map's far more favorable to the AWP than Inferno anyway. 3 players actually going through this mid window. This is an aggressive push. They're looking to take the fight to their opponents, and it's going to work. Luke will find the pick onto the player in middle. The problem is there's only one player to defend. It's Romy. I said he needed to step up. He will get himself one, at least a trade, keeping the man advantage with his team. They're actually going to smoke down to deny any further presence and allow themselves after plant positions.
Yeah, 4 players still up here for TS Academy. They have the advantage heading into this. Yeah, I've got a player over towards ramp in the form of Pachanga. He has the crossfire set up with the 2 players over in CT. And as Nickelback now wraps around from behind, they can get this crossfire set up on these players in the CT spawn. Fitch has to watch his teammates back. They're going to look away, but no, Fitch finds the shot. Still got more work left to do. It's going to be Bass up close to find the frag. Into a 2-on-2. Smoke's gone down for the bomb. Pachanga now paraching out from ramp, finds the first. Trade comes in from Luke. SNK just playing it perfectly from behind the boxes. Forces Luke back. And that is going to be Tengri to find themselves their first round. The AWP still saved up for TS Academy, and only 1 player surviving now for Tengri does mean that their money is going to be a bit tricky to decide how to invest there. And I think they should be able to get 4 rifles bought up. It looks like they're going to be dropping the Galil over to Pachanga as well. So instead they're going to opt for the double Galil play to get that little bit extra utility bought up and onto the cards. I'm not entirely sure. I'm fairly certain they could have got an AK though, right? And still had this much utility. I feel like there was a bit of a misbuy there.
Well, Pachanga has 1,600 in the bank, so
yeah,
something's been wasted, that's for sure. But either way, or even he could have dropped someone else a Galil and they could have got full utility as well. So, take it as you will. CT side forcing into this one. Luke, I feel like he needs to go a little bit more aggressive than this. Flashbang going to fail and unable to get anything done in the early iterations of this round. His team are forced around the AWP safe. Bass had enough to buy himself a rifle, but the rest of the team are struggling. With only 1 player surviving, winning this round, yeah, that would be wonderful. They would be able to completely reset Tengri. Only man with any money is Pachanga. SNK with a little bit, but not anything to really cheer about. It's a good chance, but they are limited themselves. That 1 AWP is the sort of pinnacle over towards the B site. The T side, at least a couple of them slowly making their way forward. Bomb's still down back towards mid, so not like they're really dedicating their full force over towards this B site as of yet. But does seem like it's going to be picked up along the way, and you can see from the position of chair on Fitch, he's just going to be waiting for any rotations.
Yeah, Luke with the AWP going to be chiming in with one. No trades card just yet. You've still got a player within the site in the form of Nickelback who does have that CZ. Luke going to be caught out in the open. Will fall a 4-on-4 going to ensue in this retake, and the players on A still reluctant to rotate on round. I mean, Nickelback just going to be fed to the wolves as they only just managed to make it through over towards Kitchen now. Bomb time already taken away. They don't have a kit either to work with. 2 flashes to try and get them into the site. And it wouldn't surprise me if already we see the decision made to save, and that does look to be the case as Rommy's not too keen to head on in to join the rest of his team. And yeah, I mean, Ben Vicious with the 5-7 over at short, trying to find an exit if he can, and then potentially run off with a rifle, but doesn't look to be the case as they all exit in through apps, playing it safe, and that's Tengri now to pick themselves up a second round.
Yeah, not worth it. Even in a 4 versus 3 with rifles, it's very difficult to get back in to the B side, especially if you have no presence over towards mid or in apps, so you may as well just keep the weapons, try and do something in the next round. Not really expecting too much of a force-up, although Luke is going to buy himself a CZ. He will still be able to buy an AWP in the next round anyway, so that won't be too much of a problem. And the rest of the team are just going to save their cash, which actually means there's a little bit more resistance than there potentially would have been if they'd just gone barreling into the site and lost their lives. And considering the T's haven't built up too much money yet, this could work nicely. Drop a couple of players, make things a little bit more difficult as a minimum.
Oh, but SNK, that'll open things up in a big way over at ramp. Takes the head of a 2 of these players. Bass able to return 1 at least with that scavenged M4. There is an AK over in towards absolutely could get, but he might be able to discover the bomb. Bass, he's aware that something's going on. Didn't round the corner, but he heard the players rotating back to go ahead and pick that up, and this should give them a pretty good idea as to where the bomb is. Bass isn't done just yet. Goes ahead and gets himself a second now with the M4. Still in their backline, still causing a huge problem. Ben Vicious, well, making his way up towards top mid, going to be coming on round, but there's the slam dunk from SNK. There's no stopping him. Ramsey going to fall elsewhere, and AK will be picked up now by Ben Vicious. Actually, it's going to be the AWP. As they head into this retake, 2-on-2, the bomb is going to go down, and SNK going to be playing the close angle. Bass on the other side of that smoke. Ben Vicious over at short, looking to wrap in through window. Will be spotted out by SNK, but no, he falls, leaving this on Fitch. He's been a star player for Tengri. Now to try and clutch this out 1v2.
Oh, never mind. Ben Vicious just runs across, takes him down, and what was sort of starting off as a round of, okay, let's see how much damage they can do. Bass gets the early damage, and then the rifle picked up by Femvicious is enough to actually win them the round, and even an AWP added into their arsenal as well. So that's great work for them, not allowing Tengri any money built up. In fact, they will take the round from them as well. And now it has to be a force from this T side. Now, UMP will be bought. I think they could have actually dropped a bit more than that, maybe even an AK if they didn't go for all the grenades, but decided that the utility is more important. Well, by the looks of things, they may just be going for a classic CIS strategy. Oh no, they're going to go contact B. They're not going to rush B. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, slowing it right down. Waiting for the utility to rain on out from TS Academy. And that smoke's going to go down. But they're just going to walk straight on through. The nade should find a boatload of damage. SNK going to pick it up and eat it. And Bass attack down low. The Molotov's going to rain on it. These things get hot and toasty. They do manage to extinguish it, and Pacheco's able to get them out onto the site, but they still have to deal with the threat that is Romy, who's lining them up, knocking them down, gets himself too. Bass is there to help out. They still don't know to deal with him just yet, and the Molotov's causing a real issue at this point. It all falls onto Fitch, who turns it into the 1-on-2, but then roasts in the fire and flames. Nickelback with the Molotov to light him up. It is going to be Tengri conceding yet another round away at TS Academy. 4-2 right now, as they show maybe Inferno shouldn't be their best map, and they should think about switching it up to Mirage.
Yeah, much better start than what we've seen from them previously. They're 4-2 up. They're still on the CT side, though, so they want to do much, much better than where they currently sit. However, with the T's are limited by, be a little bit more difficult. Aggressive is going to come up damage to try and catch Bass peeking. Okay. It's just using his utility. Like actually going very deep. This gives a chance, but Bitch unable to find anything as of yet. CT side not really going for any real aggression, just playing back towards the sites. They know that the economy of their opponent is going to be very limited in this sort of situation, so playing further back, playing in positions where the pistols aren't as effective, can work wonders. And already Rummy starting things off with the first. The rest of the T's, or at least a couple of them, are making their way over towards B as these two try and sell a little bit of a fake, but no real reason for the CT side to pull any rotations, as they're just picking them off with the people they already have.
Yeah, down goes Sonic, adding another list of the casualties, and yeah, there we go. Ramzik next to follow. Ramzik falling incredibly silent thus far, and he was someone who, on Inferno, did phenomenally well. I mean, even when you looked at the rest of the team, they were doing good, but they weren't doing, you know, half as well as Ramzik. And this time, you know, he's fallen incredibly silent. 1 and 6 right now, putting him just above Sonic, who's almost been kind of the resident bottom fragger for Tengri. So it would be nice to see him step up a little bit more, but there is only so much power one man can have. And this time, Tengri going to be kickstarting the round. 4 players over towards mid. They leave SNK once again to try and work ramp. He's had a nice bit of success here in the past, but in the last couple of rounds has been struggling a wee bit. Ramzik, though, kickstarted this round. Pachanga going to chime in with 1, and all of a sudden it's been turned on his head. Ramzik, I say there's only so much power one man can have, and he steps up in a big way. Saying that now, Luke trying to turn things around out towards the A-bomb site, doing so much damage. Turns it into a 2-on-2 almost single-handedly. Bass then chiming in with that one there. Onto Pachanga, and well, now it's Fitch and SNK. SNK tagged down low by the might of Luke on that AWP. Spots him out over in CT, but he has to be careful because the crossfire is set up with jungle. Bass peeking out around the corner, finds the first. SNK is there to trade things out. And now the one-on-one. Luke couldn't quite finish off SNK earlier. He's got to try and do it now in the 1v1 clutch.
Easy. Doesn't have any problems with that. SNK gonna go down, and I think something that has to be said, the difference, the big difference between this and the game previously on Mirage, where we saw dominance from Tengri, is the clutch situations. They are losing every single one. Like, almost every round that we've seen has been sort of like closer clutches, a lot of rounds where it's gone down to just sort of 1 player alive, 2 players alive, and against the Belarusians, they were winning every single one of these clutches. And in this, they're just not able to. It's just not working for them at all. And now they're even getting into territory where they're going for just weird buys again. We saw this versus Vega, where it was just almost confusing as to what they were attempting to achieve. And, well, Pachanga's gone for a Galil. We've seen a few sort of Tech 9s, pistols bought in. Now, they will have the max loss bonus into the next round, so with a bomb plant, he'll have a reasonable buy. But without one, he's going to be left with almost identical cash, $100 more.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with Tengri right now. Really struggling here in the early stages of this first half. And I mean, I say early stages, we've only got 6 rounds left to play. They do have to think about trying to turn this around if they want to win this out in 2 maps. For TS Academy, it's fantastic, the position they find themselves in right now. 6-2 in their favor. Potentially could see that reach 7-2, as the buy coming up from Tengri this time is not fantastic. Tech 9 and Armor bought up as they do force buy around what they can. Pachanga's going to have that mystery Galil, but already Pachanga, he'll go down. Sonic next to follow. They lose the Galil, and they also lose the presence in through lower tunnels. Fitch able to find one back in return at least. But it's very little. Luke meanwhile chiming in from CT. It all falls onto SNK. 1v3 does have the bomb and a minute left to play with, but that is going to be it.
Backing into Palace, trying to reposition. It's looking like a hopeless round for the T player. A lot still to do. Currently one of the players to get something down at the moment. Romy is going to be waiting, but won't spot out his opponent as of yet. The second he steps, that is the sound he needed. Romy will peek out, finish things off. That will be a 7th on the board now for Team Spirit. Now, it does have to be said, in the first matchup we saw, it was the CT side that was far more favourable for Tengri. They were actually pretty poor on their T side, and maybe this is more alluding to how the previous match actually went. maybe it was just more them having a good game and their opponents not playing particularly well, because at the moment things are looking pretty poor. 7-2 Team Spirit with 5 rounds in a row now. The money hasn't built up a whole lot considering, but they've still got 7 grand on Bass. That's a very good game so far. 10-2. Setting up once again over towards this B site. Smoke's gonna go, or A site even. Smoke's going in. Rummy's waiting.
And Nickelback is going to be Molotov'd out. The push going to come on through. And as you said, Rummy on the side, the one they have to really watch out for. He does pounce and get one, but that's going to be it. Now the bomb can go down. They have the man advantage. It's the flank in through T-spawn from Bass that could catch these guys off guard. They're going to send 2 players back. Make that just 1, actually. SNK to try and deal with exactly this. Bass spots him out, but he will fall at the first hurdle. Now it's Luke and Fen Vicious to try and clutch this out. 2v4. Luke does spot out the player over in Palace. Pachang going to be holding close in sandwich. Molotov on back. Does at least give him the opportunity to peek out onwards ramp. It's going to pay off as SNK goes down. Crossing out of the site is Ben Vicious, but he's going to fall at the first hurdle. Now it's all on Luke. 1v3. Who is at least going to go down. They go ahead and pick themselves up a third. A 3k from Pachang to turn that one around. Still plenty of money left for TS Academy to buy up into this round.
Are they going to throw in the double AWP or... Yeah. Interesting decision, because they could have had 2 rifles instead. They're going to have Nickelback on the UMP. Let's have a look at where he actually plays. Oh, they're going to go for this mid push again. Already tried it once. Nade actually going to bounce on the teammate. They're going to be waiting for it, though, this time. Ramsey and Fitch. The deadly... What was that? Fitch just straight through the smoke. And Ramzik as well has now just done even more damage. What on earth was that shot? Leaving only Bass alive. His team have just been destroyed. And Fitch and Ramzik have just exploded onto the map.
I mean, Fitch is a man who sees all. That's what we just learned there.
He doesn't see smokes.
Yeah. It is going to be Bass to fall at the end. Fitch, I mean, you know, there's a certain degree of pre-firing you can do down into window, but to just fire 3 bullets through and then find a man like it's nobody's business, his mouse must be a firm couple of meters off the ground right now. As, yeah, Tengri, they're going to be on 4. The buy can't come in from TS Academy. They're finally going to be at the brunt of a poor economy, and this means Tengri can potentially find themselves a 5th. I mean, going to give them that opportunity now to build some money up in their bank accounts as well and start to run away with this a little bit. Ramzik looking angry down in mid. Bass going to go down. No heroics in middle. Just being denied time and time again. The push coming in over towards ramp, but SNK is here and he knows ramp like the back of his hand. Makes the decision to fall on back, take it a little bit more passively. Relinquishes some control up the way at TS Academy, but in the meantime, Tengri take control of mid to counteract this.
This is where the sort of 7-2 scenario that looked so good starts to dwindle a little bit. 7-5. 10-5 half wouldn't be bad at all. More edging towards what could be an 8-7 or 9-6. The next round, still... Well, it'll be enough. It'll be a buy, but it won't be an AWP. And that's been something that's been crucial to their game. And in fact, they're even going to be struggling to get sort of rifles on the board on some of the players. So definitely going to be interesting. Ramzik just absolutely styling at the moment. Leaves Romy sort of wander around. But yeah, even if you had sort of a 2-400 onto Luke or something like that, he doesn't have a whole lot of cash. Like, it's a rifle. That's it. It's a rifle with some Kevlar. Which, it's not really a best case scenario. Like, it's not the worst, but it leaves them very limited on utility. And it's been... sort of the AWP. Bass has been doing quite well over towards the B site. Romy still being sneaky. Ramzik got no reason to re-peek anymore. He's down to 22 HP. As you said, this is a round where they want to be building up money. So keeping everybody alive is the main goal.
Yeah, 5th for Tengri on the board, and yeah, I mean, you know, as both of us have said, it's a good opportunity for them to start to build up their cash. They keep 5 players alive and they eliminate Romy there at the end. The buy will be coming in from TS Academy, but it's not going to be fantastic. I mean, Luke's already relegated down to a UMP or a FAMAS. Romy finding himself in a not too great scenario. No one really able to get that much utility with the exception of Bass. So they don't really have much heading into this round. And they're not going to be leaping at the opportunity to buy up just yet. The tack has been called in. If you're TS Academy, what do you need to change before this gets out of control?
I think this is a round where you need to sort of take some map control somewhere and then go for a bit more of a gamble. I'd quite like to see maybe a bit more of the aggression over towards apps. Like throw a deep smoke, get a little bit closer, and then just have that sort of spot so that you can peek into the back iterations of that B site. And then you can sort of gamble a little bit more of where they're going to be going. You can get some more sound cues off of the map itself. Or even do the same over towards Palace. It's risky, but when you don't have much utility, you don't have much of a chance to actually stop or retake, you need to do it. And Bass, I was about to say, he's the only person who could really afford to get a kit on the board, and he doesn't. So they can't afford to let the bomb go down. They are going to go aggressive again. It's over towards mid. Now, this is the third time they've done this. Worked the first time, failed miserably the second time, and, well, the third time you could see, like, Sonic is clearly aware that they're going to try and make some sort of play. The likelihood is their buy is going to be a little bit weaker. Like, I don't expect Tengri to know what they have to the dollar, but the likelihood is, with only a few rounds in a row, not going to be anything too impressive. Bass, he's just going to hold. Actually spots out Ramzik. What? Oh, come on!
Yeah, this round is just a slaughter. It is all going to be on Fenvicious and Nickelback. 2v5 Ramzik. The beast himself over towards B. Opting now just to fade away and rejoin the rest of his team. They're going to go and pick up the bomb, look to secure the A-bomb site. Pushing up through connector is going to be Pachang. They have to watch out because Nickelback is going to be holding his ground behind the double stack. SNK now peeking out from ramp. The peek comes through from Nickelback, who does spot him out, but SNK goes for the spray and shuts him down. It's all on Fenvicious, who misses those shots on the player rotating up through connector. He's made his way in towards window. In the 1v5, not even really worth him going for this one, so it will be a 6th for Tengri unless we see a monumental clutch. And it's still on the cards. He finds the first. 3 players are tagged relatively low, but he's already made the decision to fall on back.
I'm still smiling, just that Ramzik shot's disgusting. May go down though. Don't know how he gets away with that. Doesn't need to re-peek once again. 1 rifle for Fenvicious. He's going to take down Fitch. Now, the remaining 3 players are very low on HP, so he could make this exceedingly costly. Now, it is coming towards the end of the half, but I feel like the T's don't really need to do this, and they're actually standing very close together, considering how low they are, considering there's an M4 on the other side. I actually agree. Just stay back. Don't go for anything crazy. 7-6. What was looking scary for Tengri has now fallen into a much calmer situation. Worst case scenario is a 7-6. CT side, they can invest into pistols, but that's all they can really get. And the T side are going to have an abundance of cash for the next round, which will be the final round of the half.
Yeah, there's just going to be untapped mid-aggression coming on in. Ramzik charging on down past that smoke, trying to spot a player out. There is going to be Luke posted up aggressively in lower tunnels. He actually hopped out through the window. 2 players trying to secure control of ramp are going to fall back, and that says Luke gets eliminated over in mid. No one now to watch connector. They opt to try and make their way back into the site, believing that ramp is going to be clear, but SNK still lurks over towards this position. 3 players for Tengri over in mid. You also have the lone player in the form of Sonic making his way over towards B, so spreading out, maintaining this map control early on, and not falling prey to any aggression from these pistols.
Bounced in and, well, SNK, easy cleanup of the A site. Bombs still drop quite far back, so maybe there's a chance that the CTs can rotate in fast enough. Ramzik gonna pick off 1 more, and as Bass goes to peek, Pachanga is waiting. Again, just calm, collected play from this CT, or from this T side, just waiting. They knew that the buy wasn't going to be good, so they just sat passive and sat pretty, if anything. Nickelback now waiting. They're really hoping that somebody will push in. He's got his trusty flashbang and P250, but unfortunately, I think he's realized now the A site has been taken. There is actually a rifle on the floor in front of him, though, so that could be worth saving. But Ramzik doesn't like that idea.
Last round of the half, 7-7 is the score. Nickelback can be buying up the AWP. Curious to see if that does get tossed over to Luca, or if Nickelback's going to try and keep it for himself. And it looks like he's going to be holding on to it. They're going to go for the double AWP setup, but Luca, as a result, doesn't have any armor or any utility up behind this. So he is just going to be literally a man with an AWP, and that is it. They have utility across everyone else. They have a defuse kit as well on Fenvicious, so it's not the end of the world. Watching mid early on is going to be Fenvicious, the man himself. The man with the utility and the defuse kit. And he's really been tagged away. Some aggression this time from Luke and Bass over towards this B-bomb site. Pushing up in through apartments early on. Is going to be spotted out. Actually, Pachang does spot the aggression on one of these players, but I don't think he's going to account for the fact that Bass is playing it up close, right in the corner there. Has to check the angle as he walks on in. He does fall prey to the aggression coming in from the lone TS Academy player.
Sonic to trade, but Nickelback has done work with that AWP. We questioned him having it. Found the pick at least. Down to just 2. But look who it is, Harry. Look who the 2 are left. I still have a little bit of faith.
Yeah, the dynamic duo, Ramzik and Fitch. 2v2. We'll have to try and clutch this out. They've got the bomb. They're rotating around over towards B. There's only one player here in the form of Bass, as now Luke actually looks to double their forces in the B-bomb site. 35 seconds left. Plenty of time to play around with, although it is swiftly diminishing. Bass could be playing it over my truck. That smoke's going to start to dissipate now. The push comes in. They have to check this angle. And they're going to find some good damage. Bass tagged that extremely low. Now things get a little bit scary for him as he tries to fall on back out the site. Both the players pushing on in, and Bass going to fall at the first hurdle. Luke doesn't spot anyone crossing, so they should be able to get this bomb down. No problem. And it will be a 2-on-3 in the retake. The dynamic duo of Tengri looking to try and make an impossible round possible. There is a player coming in on the flank. That's going to be Fenvicious. Luke still waiting over in shop for his teammates to make their way up through short on apps. Bomb timer ticking away. They've got the kit on Fenvicious. They have no utility to get back into the site. Spotted over his short. It's going to be Nickelback as he gets tagged down a measly 22 HP. Now Ramsey peeks on out and finds the frag. Fenvicious on the flank gets the first, but now Fitch knows where he is. They're going to try and make their way back into the site at the exact same time. They do the damage, and down goes Fitch. Luke to pick him up, and then it's going to be just enough time left to get this defuse. 8-7 in favor of TS Academy.
Nice little team ace to finish off the half as well. I did still believe. I had to say, the second it went back to 2v2, I was just nodding my head, just looking at these 2 players go to work. But the retake eventually comes in. They do win the half, but definitely not in the fashion they would have liked. 5 rounds in a row for the T side, making this a much better half. And now, Tengri moving on to the CT side, looking for that pistol to get them rolling once again. And, well, this time, waiting to see whether or not the T's can do the same. Now, as to be said, across the board, the T's seem to be a lot more balanced. This Sonic, once again, hasn't had a particularly good day, it has to be said. T's actually looking to go for a smoke setup.
Tom, my game just crashed. Do you want to take this round away?
Sure, why not? Bitch, waiting. Smokes will go in. The rotation needs to be called. There is a kit on Sonic. SNK going to be waiting over towards the triple box. Peeks out, but can't find anything. Pistol shots will be missed. The push just in. It's only 1 kill, actually. They're waiting now for the retake on this CT side. But CT spot has been completely taken. Every single player now coming in from mid and flank. This gives huge positional control over towards the T side to try and make something of this round. Nickelback will find one Pachanga, able to trade things back, but it's falling apart. There's so many players to find over towards the CT spot. Ramzik is able to gather up 1, but that is all. 3 players surviving for Secret. For Secret? I knew I was going to say it eventually. Like, TS, I was, in my head, I was like, you're going to say Secret at some point. No, this isn't the female team, the best female team in the world. Nope. The Academy of Team Spirit. Here we go. Nailed it. Have you got back in?
Dude. Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, I'm back. We're all good.
Too much pressure put on my shoulders, that's what it is. Where's Juliana?
Over in mid. Ramsey going to go ahead and behead 1. Luke's going to go down, and no trade to be found, actually. 3 players for TS Academy making their way over towards B, just going to go charging on in. They've got to watch out because waiting in the corner is going to be Pachanga, who lets them cross into the site, lets them believe it's clear. He does get one and then traded out swiftly by Ben Vicious, but it's still the man advantage in favor of Tengri. They're doing a lot of damage. The bomber is going to go down, but we're back in it with 2-on-3. Sorry, 3-on-3. Bomber going to be taken away from them now, but these Deegs can do some serious harm. All 3 players dead in one shot to both the Deeg and the Scout. It's not going to take much, but Bass is going to complicate matters that much more. They spot out Fitch as he crosses out into the middle of the site. They know exactly where he is. And just locking down these angles. It's Fitch with the Deeg king. Ramzik to find one. The dynamic duo trying to turn the tide of battle, but now it's all on Ramzik standing alone. Out in the open, gets one. It all falls onto Bass. Fakes out the defuse. Bass isn't going to be peeking just yet. Knows he won't have a kit to work with. And only now takes the big Ramzik with the no-scope. Does get all the frags necessary. A 4K for him. But the round will go the way of TS Academy.
Right, now we get some interesting possibilities. Because really they want to be saving in this round. And they are. Okay. I was wondering whether they would go for it. Because they dropped every single player over on the T side. Instead, they're going to let Ramzik play with the Catalyst rifle. They did the same in the last round with the Scout, and he got 4 kills. But it is going to be pretty much a 4-by over on the Spirit side of things. So they will convert the round, although it was very, very close. Ramzik making things very interesting indeed. And the fact is, with the extra amount of money he's earned from all these kills, with the 2,400 in the next round, he's going to have an AWP whether he does anything in this round or not.
And they are just going to be waiting. TS Academy not keen to go running into the waiting arms of Tengri early on. The AK on the back of Ramzik, as you said, could do a lot of damage, and it won't really matter because he can still afford to get the AWP into the next round. So a Catalyst rifle with armor in play.
No fear.
Yeah, no fear.
Is patient though from the T side. They're not going to go for anything too ridiculous. I would have quite liked to see a more like stack-based play, like maybe have 4 players on the A site and Ramzik alone on B with the AK, but they've sort of just split it more of like a weird gamble, like a half gamble on B, and it's not going to pay off. They're rotating 1 player back around towards CT, but Fitch has got to do so much with this P250. Now, he's very, very good, but this is a huge ask even for him. Well, he's going to get flanked in from Palace. Nothing that can really be done. And now the realm of questioning comes in is whether this is worth going for Ramzik. Everyone else can sort of have their play, have their run in. But he's got an AK. He has found one.
Yeah, he's looking to try and do damage here over in CT. He does have SNK to back him up, and actually going to do a little bit more. It takes that a second. It's going to allow SNK to find a UMP to work with now. Going to go ahead and smoke off the bomb. Does miss its mark a little bit, and well, they're all going to fall in the blink of an eye. It will be TS Academy to find at 11th now. 4 rounds between them and Tengri, but the buy can come in from Tengri on this CT side.
I think after the second kill, where he gets like tagged down to 24 HP, I think that's where he should save the gun. Because it may not affect him getting an AWP, but it does affect how much utility they can have. You give, say, Fitch or Changa an AK here, and they can get Incendiary as a kit. They can have pretty much everything they want. So I think he went a little bit overboard. We'll see if it does come back to bite them, because now it is a 4-round lead. Like, we may be talking as if Tengri are in this sort of driver's seat going onto the CT side, but it definitely doesn't seem to be the case. And pushing onto what will be this site, Fitch is already gone in mid, and there's 4 players ready to hit A.
Yeah, Ramzik gets to step up in a big way, gets the first, but doesn't get anything else done. He's going to be shut down almost immediately. SNK trying to do all he can to pull this one back, and he does so. Gets 2. That's all he had to do and more. Does tag down his teammate a little bit in the meantime, and then falls at the hands of Romy. Pachanga turns the tide of battle once more. Picks off Romy in return. And now it's all on Luke, the lone AWPer for TS Academy. 1v2, bomb down and out in the open, with Sonic and Pachanga left to try and hold down the fort.
It left. So not rushing any circumstance here. Both players full HP, but he's using an AWP, so he just has to try and isolate one of these duels. Sonic round the corner is going to hit the shot. AWP will be able to be saved as well for Ramzik going into the next round. And you can really see the effect of that sort of round where all of their players die. And 2 in the last round. Because their money's not really in a good state. 3 players are fine to buy, no worries. Well, Nickelback a little bit sketchy. But then there's 2 players who literally have nothing to play with. They've got their Tech 9s. The CT side, obviously they're needing to win this round just as badly as their opponents, as both teams currently struggle with economy. And to be honest, the winner of this round, well, it could be the difference between an even scoreline and potentially getting towards 13.
Yeah, I mean, the gravity here is huge. It's basically a 2-for-1 round where you reset your opponent's economy for whoever picks it up. But oh, there we go. Tengri, in particular, Ramzik, just going to go ahead and cement that one on the board for Tengri at an 11-9 scoreline right now. And a potential now for them to pick themselves up a 10th. There's very little money left for TS Academy. It's just going to be P250s across the board. Almost Romy the only exception. It will be, you'd imagine, a relatively clean round coming in from Tengri, for them to close the gap as much as they can.
East side. Gathering up together, 3 of them at least. Trying to take a little bit of map control. Maybe going to go for a window boost. Or is the AWP of Ramzik currently waiting in that position? And they're trying to keep him busy. I like this. The 2 players over below are basically just a little bit of bait as they try and get into the window. It doesn't work, but the idea behind it isn't a bad one. And hello, Romy. Is this your awakening? It's taken a little bit of time for you to sort of get back to what we saw on Train. That'd be nice. And Bass, again, making things very costly. It is going to be finished off. Ramzik, again, 4 kills for him. He's 27-13. Like, what is going on?
I think that's a bit of a problem, really, for Tengri. They really rely heavily on Ramzik. Sonic doesn't contribute much to the scoreboard whatsoever. SNK's had some moments where, you know, at least you can say he's consistent. Pachanga's been doing okay as well. Fitch has been very hit and miss between being, you know, arguably one of the best players in the server and then just falling off to being, you know, almost mediocre. And the only one you can really rely on to be this consistent carry is Ramzik.
But yeah, the HLTV want to watch in this match, of course. They're not going to get anything wrong there. Normally based off stats, but clearly here he is really doing that work with that AWP. Mentioned at the beginning that it really is going to be a huge factor. And while I'm pushing onto the B side now, completely blind in the corner, but Pachanga still gets 1. That's more than was expected, considering he was completely blind. And while every single player will go together this round to find something, Luke still able to make things a little bit more costly. Look at the HP on the remaining players. 61 between them.
Yeah, they're not out the woods just yet. Those are some impressive maths, by the way, Tom. But, yeah, the bomb can be dropped down over towards Van. Luke, on his own, has more HP than all the Tengri combined, but he doesn't have any utility. Ramzik's got a whole belt full. Fitch has a incendiary as well. They can easily keep him at bay. But look at this for Pachanga. I mean, he's gone for a very, very odd rotate back over towards A. Going to be holding it off over towards Palace, waiting to see if this player has gone for a lengthy flank. And also looking to try and hold on to that M4 potentially. But I mean, the bomb's out by truck right now. He's going to make his way out of the site, takes the aggression up close. Ramzik's there. Fitch is going to be the one to go down. Now it's on the 2 players with 8 HP between them. Pachanga's miles away, and Ramzik's alone within the site, playing it around the pillar, trying to buy time for the rotate to come in from Pachanga. Going to be caught looking the wrong way. Down goes Ramzik. Pachanga in the 1v1. Bomb going to be picked up. There's 7 seconds left. Plenty of time for the bomb plant to come on through. Did he get it? I'm fairly sure there was just enough time. No, I didn't think there was.
That's heartbreaking.
And he dies afterwards in the one-on-one. Just a terrible ending there. But TS Academy.
So bad. Like, was that a 1v5? It was at least 1v4. And it was for the ace. And it literally, 0.2 of a second. I would have bet on him winning if that bomb goes down. I think anybody would have bet on him winning. That is absolutely heartbreaking. And, well, not only that, that's the difference between the score being equalized and them going back to eco again. So, Tengri, a lifeline there. Because Luke almost just decimated them single-handedly.
Yeah, they're going to be rushing in towards B, though, in a desperation attempt to try and claw one back. Just charging in towards the site. All with the exception of Luke has been left over in mid to worm his way up through connector. The rest of his teammates going to get decimated in B. It's all on Luke, who bounds around the corner joyfully and then is put to bed by SNK. Tengri take the lead for the first time in this matchup, I'm fairly certain. On this map, sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's now going to be them with a one-round advantage. TS Academy will be able to get a bye together. Their economy, though, still on the brink of being broken once more.
Bit of aggression coming out from both teams over towards this A ramp. It is mid, the main point of contention for the T's. Pitch. Maybe causing Romy to panic a little bit. He'll fall into the corner, knowing that there's a player close by. It's actually going to force him back, and he goes all the way down to 20 HP. The second one going to be thrown out, and Pitch finishes him off. Still a player in B-Apps, but this is another individual duel. Bass needs to be careful here. He was very good over on that CT side. Really going to need him. Mid, again, as said, it's that point of contention for the T's. They've taken control of it. The bomb still all the way at the back of mid, so if anything, T spawn. A lot to be done. Only 50 seconds left on the clock. They really need to find something, and all they've got left is one flashbang. However, Nickelback, he's able to find one from short to SNK. Still a bit of utility to be expended. Ramzik, in fact, still has the full belt to himself. Now it finally seems that they're going to go back and retrieve this bomb, but yet to really know where they're actually going to be facing.
Man advantage taken here by Tengri as Pachanga drops out Nickelback. The bomb now rotating in through mid as they desperately trying to make their way towards A, but there's very little time left once again as it comes back to haunt TS Academy, trying to secure this site, and already Tengri have everyone nearby. Bassam to turn the tide of battle, does manage to pick up one, looking for a second, but Ramzik quick to shut him down. Bomb dropped out in the open, and there's no time left. And Vicious doesn't even get to survive or find the frag as Ramzik shows he's just as capable with the pistols as he is with the AWP. A 13-11 scoreline in favor of Tengri. A very odd economic situation for TS Academy, which we're going to see them force buy down to $2,000. Ultimately, though, if this force buy doesn't pan out, it means a 14th for Tengri. At that point, they're one round away from match and series point.
Yeah, 6 rounds in a row as well for Tengri, so they really have got their momentum going. It is going to be the smoke execute. Definitely pleased to see that come in. It gives them a much better opportunity to get the bomb down, which is more than enough for what they need. They're having a full buy in the next anyway. It gives them more of a chance to actually fight back. Flash is out, smoke's out. Mitch spotting players running into the jungle area, and he's only going to manage to get one, but it seems like his teammates have got his back. SNK manages to connect onto another. Pachanga with one more. 2 for him in this round. Now Romy trying to dance around on the site will at least end the life of Ramzik, which hasn't happened in a while, in fact. But the 14th round will go onto the board for Tengri. Now we wait to see what this tactical pause can bring, and I'm actually not sure what they're going to be able to change in this sort of scenarios, because a lot of the rounds that have been close, at least recently, have come off the back of one individual player, like Luke in that sort of 1v4. Like, you can't expect him to do that sort of damage, and in the early round scenarios, at least, it seems like they're losing the duels almost every single time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one, right? Because when we look at, you know, a team like Tengri, we see that their issue is that they have a player who falls silent and then one player who turns up, and everyone else is a bit of a question mark. And you're very reliant on that player that does well. You know, when you look over at TS Academy, they seem to be much more well-rounded. Everyone kind of doing exactly the same, but then they're lacking that one star player who can, you know, step up for them on a regular basis and could be used to kind of pull them through moments like this. And, yeah, I mean, as you said, they have been losing these opening duels a lot in the last couple of rounds. I feel like some of that just comes down to being a confidence thing, but also we haven't really seen them on the back of a proper full buy in quite some time. There's always been some element missing, be it the AWP up on Luke, utility missing on a player on Luke, for example, if he does opt to buy the AWP, as we're seeing in this round. I mean, in this instance, he doesn't even have armor to play around with. So aim punch could be playing into full effect in this round, into, you know, the most important round for TS Academy in this whole matchup.
However, they are going to be able to find the opening pick as SNK is caught out in middle. Look at this aggression from Pachanga. He's walking straight in, and his head's taken clean off. Sonic able to get one, and now it's all on Vid, but he's just done exactly what was needed of him. 3 kills, even spinning round to get himself the 3rd, and what looked like an inevitable victory now comes down to Vicious. It's not impossible. Both players now holding AWPs. It is this deadly duo once again. Of course it is. Fitch may have not had the best game, but he's still having some impact. All missed the shot, but they now know exactly where he is. And Ramzik, well, he's not going to go around without a kill. Don't be silly. 15-11. And I have no idea how, like genuinely no idea how they're pulling off these rounds.
And this is where things get tricky. TS Academy, they lose that round. Now they don't have hardly anything to invest up into this one. They do get rifles. They get the UMP on Luke. He doesn't have the AWP, which is, you know, the weapon of choice. They have a little bit of utility on him alone. Everyone else contributing a smoke and a flash for the most part, which does at least give them some leeway to get into the sites, but they have very little to hold on to for the afterplants. So most likely you're just going to see a kind of all-together play out towards one of these sites. Instead of opting to split and pick, they don't have the utility to do that. It looks like they're set up as though they're going to fake it right now, which is interesting when you consider how restricted they are in their utility anyway. Splitting it between 2 sites doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially with this aggression from Pachanga up mid. The second he starts to get confident, you see him make plays like this, and he's already in the back line. He can cause so much damage here, and while Vicious is able to get one in return out towards A, SNK and Ramzik just shutting it down with the AWP. No, Ramzik, there's no stopping him, gets himself 2. TS Academy have these 2 players left alive out in the B-bomb site. Luke's able to find Sonic at least, so it will be a 2-on-3 in the retake. The bomb's going to be ticking away. It's the double AWP setup on Ramzik and SNK to try and retake this site, along with Pachanga, which is going to be tricky. I mean, the double AWP is going to slow down their mobility quite a lot. Ramzik already tagged down over towards short. Luke being the only player within the site, Romy instead watching from apps. Somewhat feeds Luke to the wolves. He should better trade this out, which he does. Into a 1-on-2 we go. The AWP on SNK and Pachanga have to try and clutch this out. SNK desperately trying to ditch the AWP in favor of the AK, but no, Romy playing this perfectly. Goes ahead and gets the first. Now SNK in the smoke fakes it out, and Romy clutches it 1v3 to make that one work. TS Academy 12-15 still in this.
And now the money, again, is starting to be called into question a little bit for this CT side. Ramzik going to be dropping weapons all over the shop and will be able to get an AWP. Sonic is going to be the one to take the hit, and I personally think that's the right decision. But, see, maybe there is some sort of lifeline left. Team Spirit Academy. They're only a few rounds behind, 3 in fact, to take it to overtime. Going to be going for the middle, but SNK starts straight out of there, falls back. Doesn't want to take any further re-peeks. Will go back over towards the B side with the rest of his team. You can see Bass looking for a trade. He will catch him in the open, but he's going to go continuing to push. He doesn't know there's still 2 more players on this site, and that solo push alone may have just cost them. The problem is, though, there's only 1 player on A. It's going to be Vitch. What a snap coming out from Vicious. That's ridiculous. Instant headshot and brings it back.
That was ridiculous. That flick has just turned the tide of this round almost single-handedly. Ramzik still alive, still a big threat. Pachanga going to be there as well. And actually, Ramzik, he's not ready to give this one up. Doesn't want to let this slip through the net. Goes ahead and eliminates Romy. Vicious trying to make his way to the site to trade this out, but Ramzik shuts it down. What's going on? He finally gets dealt with. Into the 1-on-2. Luke, the last man alive. He almost clutched it out previously, but then lost it because of the timer. And now he finds himself in that position once again. It was a 1v3. He turned it into a 1-on-2. Now looped back in through ramp to make his way out through Palace, trying to sell the fake. Sonic actually playing this very passively from CT. Pachanga waiting in middle. They will be able to hear this bomb plant. It's going to be faked initially from Luke. This could cost him precious time. He takes the peek out towards CT and he finds the first on a Sonic. Now it's all on Pachanga. 1v1. Luke trying to clutch things out once again. He takes the peek, spots out the lone player. Pop flashes himself out. Going to try and take the peek once again. Tagged away as he keeps missing these shots. Crosses in towards CT. Now just playing the after plant. Chang looking to try and come on through. I don't think he watched him cross. Still thinks he's going to be playing it on the site. And it's wasting precious time. He's not aware that he's made it in towards CT just yet, and he has no idea as to what's going on. Walks out, and Luke takes him down. The 1v3 pays off this time as Luke shows that he can do it, has his shot at redemption, and keeps TS Academy in this. 13-15 now, and the economy of Tengri broken.
Is the pressure starting to get to Tengri? I mean, that's 2 rounds in a row that they've lost 2v1 positions. Ramzik, in normal time, has hit 36 kills, which is insane. Like, that's just ridiculous. It does not happen very often, and if he manages 40, that'll be very impressive, but at the same time, it doesn't matter how many kills he has individually. They're only 2 rounds away from having to play overtime again. Saw them manage to pull it off on overpass in the first best of 3 that they played. Have given themselves a pause. Ramzik, with the loss bonus, should be able to get an AWP. Whether it has armor behind it, that's another thing altogether. That could be a huge impact going into the next couple of rounds. He's going to look to try and at least get himself a kill. But this is the best opportunity that Spirit have had to bring this one back after what was a huge streak of 8 rounds. They could be going all the way to 30.
Yeah, Fitch going to go aggressive in through lower tunnels, trying to catch these guys off guard. Bass going to be up. The player he comes face to face with, and Bass will win that engagement out, so he takes them out advantage early on. Over towards B. Pachanga next to go down as Bash just opens up the B bomb site on his own. There's no one here for Tengri. And actually over a mid, SNK next to fall. This round goes completely the way of TS Academy. In the blink of an eye, they go ahead and pick it up and don't face any damage. It will be 14-15, 1 round away from that precious, precious overtime. Ramzik gets the AWP, but he doesn't have armor behind it.
Yeah, this is a weakened buy for sure. We'll see if they're going to be able to take this over the line. Team Spirit now with the wind in their sails, the money in their pockets. Only 1 round needed for them to get that chance to fight for overtime. Of course, from Tengri's position, they don't have the utility. The weaponry is limited. They don't even have armor on Ramzik. Mid control is something that's quickly given up. Sonic switching up his position. Ramzik still manages to start things off, but he's traded out. It will be a 3 versus 3 already. Vish is in a decent position, but Sonic going to come around the corner. Unable to connect, and he's got support as well from Bass, who gets the double. OT looking inevitable. It's all on to Fitch. 1 versus 2.
Now he finds the first, but Vish is going to be holding that murder hold. Fitch going to go jogging on by. They hear him making his way through CT. He's going to try and fake it out, but this is going to cost him so much time. And if it doesn't work, which he's decided it hasn't, he's now wasted a lot of time rotating around through CT. Vicious and Robbie, the 2 players that remain. Fitch going to be coming out through CT. Tagged down so incredibly low, pushing out in the middle of the site. Robbie missing these shots, but it's Vicious to finish it off, and it will be overtime secured for TS Academy. They go ahead and win out that last round. It was pivotal. And I feel like this is the one issue with the Tengri team, as I was saying, when you rely on Ramzik that heavily, there's situations where if it's a 2-on-3 and Ramzik is alive and Tengri are the player, at the team with only 2 players on it, I'm going to lean the way of Tengri. But if it's a 3-on-3 but Ramzik is dead and Tengri, it's just even odds across the board, I'm going to lean the way of TS Academy. I think they have the better team performance.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's looking like there's just a few players lacking behind a little bit, and a lot of it relies on Ramzik having those big rounds. And well, considering, well, you can even take that into consideration when you look at the last, 3 or 4 rounds that they lost. There were 2 2v1s for the CT side, and they threw both of them away. Should have closed this out, and I'm starting to wonder if they've just sort of got to that border of getting through to, well, straight through to day number 3. Of course, day number 2 tomorrow will be Group B. But they could be leaving themselves problematic situation. Either way, the money back with Tengri, but the same can be said for their opponents, as we're into OT. Now it's anyone's game.
Three players for TS Academy over here towards the B-bomb site. Bomb over by Ramp. They've got Rami up in Palace. Playing this very passively early on, waiting to see if any aggression does come out from Tengri and looking to try and shut it down, taking it slow. And one for Tengri. They've gone and stuck 3 players over here towards B. No one watching mid. Relinquishing control of that early on. Does mean that Fenvicious could potentially rotate in through lower tunnels to try and make his way up connector. They do spot the player out over in apps. Luke going to be tagged just a little bit. Now falls on back. 50 seconds left. TS Academy have to, at some point soon, decide which one of these sites they want to try and migrate to. And it looks like it's going to be A, as 2 players now look to make their way in through mid. Fenvicious pushing out through lower tunnels as well. No one here to watch it. As we said, 3 players for Tengri over in B as they take the gamble and keep this B bomb site the most stacked. Of course, it is the wrong call to make. As now TS Academy collapsing towards the A bomb site.
However, it looks like the CT side have decided for more of a retake strategy, and SNK has gone huge. Finds a double as they try and enter onto the site. The bomb should be going down. Can they spray it down? Yes, they can. Bomb denied with 15 seconds left to go. Romy the last one left, and, well, if they only could have done that moments ago, Tengri, they pick themselves up the first round of OT.
Yeah, buy to be coming in once again. Now, this one's pivotal for TS Academy to pick up. I mean, when you look at it, you're going to have 2 players who physically can't afford to buy. The other 3 aren't going to be too great either in terms of what they can put out. And losing 2 consecutively in MR3 overtime, if you've bought an AWP up at all, is devastating to your economy. So, it's going to be fairly pivotal that TS Academy go ahead and return this one, or else they could risk going 0-3 in this OT. Already some aggression in through mid. They are going to spot out SNK. He takes the aggression. Him and Pachanga between them take out one with the nade. Luke already going down. Nickelback trying to make his way in through short. Bass spotting out SNK over here in the window room. Smoke's gone down for window, and they're just going to rush straight up through connector, just charging in towards A, trying to catch these guys off guard. It looks like it's worked, because in the meantime, they've rotated Ramsey out of window into CT. Players now just coming in from all angles, in through the backline. Hot on their heels are going to be Pachanga up through short, who goes for the spray when he really doesn't need to, and nearly pays the price for it. Nickelback could be taken down if it weren't for that spray. Luckily enough, Pachanga does remedy it, and now it all falls onto Romy. 1v3, 28p once again to try and clutch this out, and it's not the case.
And now they really are in trouble, as they haven't had a bomb down in either of the 2 rounds in OT, which can be the difference, really. One of the big things about the T side of overtime is even if you get a bomb plant in one of the rounds and then you lose 2, like, it doesn't matter because you've got that extra money. But going into this 3rd round, they are going to be having problems. It's going to be a couple of AKs, a UMP, 2 pistols, and the chance for Tengri to take all 3 rounds in overtime. However, it can happen quite often, in fact, that these pistols are able to do quite a bit. For some reason, there's just some weird mentality of getting the first 2 and sometimes easing off the gas.
TS Academy just going to pour out through ramp and Palace in towards the A-bomb site. No one here to actually be the first point of contact. Only able to find one, and then Nickelback chiming in with another. As you said, these pistols and the AK doing some serious work. Looking like they could pick up 1 round at least. The bomb is going to go down. Going to be ticking away. Ramsey watching from Z. Sonic at least able to find 1 as we close out that man advantage just a little bit. Trying to make his way in through connector. Fenvicious going to do the job of shutting it down and getting that trade pitch next to fall. It's all on Ramsey, 1v4. And Tom, as you said, somehow these pistols making it work. They do get 1 at least in OT.
I hate this game. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's mentality or just that the pistols are really that good. But whenever you see the first 2 rounds go to someone, I would love to know an actual statistic. Maybe it's just games that I watch. But whenever I seem to cast, I always see that 3rd round. If the first 2 goes to someone and they have pistols, they will win the 3rd. It just makes no sense. But it's happened. Tengri should have had the 3-0. But they will be going in still with the lead. And you have to remember the halves were very, very close. The T side is where everything, or the OT rather, is where everything changes. Scores on either half means nothing. Economy game, for the most part, goes out the window. And, well, you can already see that coming into factor as we've got the double AWP setup for the CT side. I think they only actually managed enough money to do this once, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, the thing here for TS Academy is they have to go and get 3 rounds consecutively without Tengri getting anything if they want to win this one out. So it is going to be tricky. That's the disadvantage you find yourself at if you only manage to get 1 round in the first half of overtime. Tengri, they need to get themselves 2. They've got the AWP up on Ramzik, making their way over towards mid. He has got a decent spawn for it, so he's going to be the first man out. The smoke goes down. He's going to peek out around the corner. We've seen this work time and time again, but this time, Bass isn't going to be falling prey to this early on. Actually, it's Fenvicious to pick the first frag up. Bass going to be the equalizing frag that does present itself as Sonic charges in towards B. He's opened it up almost on his own. Romy going to fall as Ramzik into smoke and now pounces on out, so they secure that man advantage. And look to try and make their presence known. Potentially out towards B. 2 players here, but the bomb looking undecided. Still just waiting over towards top mid. Now going to rejoin the rest of the team over at B. SNK falling on round to join up with the rest of the gang. Fenvicious does find 1. He's still got to do some serious work to buy time for the rotates to come on in. But already they've taken the gamble. They've put Luke here. Still, with this much time left, Tengri can rotate back.
Bomb is making its way over towards this A site, and Nickelback's actually playing a more mid-heavy presence. This means that the likelihood is they're probably going to be playing more for a retake than anything else of this A site, which is definitely possible. The only thing to look at is their utility. 1 HE, not really going to be the prime nade to have when looking to retake, and there's still 2 smokes and an incendiary in the hands of Tengri. But they're just going to be sneaking out for now. Smoke will go down. This will give Nickelback the sound cue of where his opponents currently sit. Not really much they can do, however, to deny this bomb.
Coming on in for the retake. 2 players for Tengri over at ramp, playing this very, very cautiously. This can work out, providing SNK can do some work over it within the site. Time's been ticking away for quite some time, though. TS Academy have to be hot on their heels and fast on their feet if they want to make this work. Fenvicious does find the first. Sonic going to be watching the flank. Ramsey takes the peek. He does get 1. It all falls on to Sonic, who picks up the trade. Looking for the second, and Sonic's going to do it. He goes ahead and gets all the work done they had to do and more in that round. Tengri find themselves 1 round away from winning this out. TS Academy, meanwhile, going to be buying on down. Investing everything they've got into this round. Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't matter. They're not going to have that sort of problem of economy, because if they lose this round, they're done. I want to point out as well, that mid-smoke, I think that's something that Anders actually points out in his Theorycraft videos. So, if you want more smokes like that, go check them out. Wonderful videos and wonderful stuff from Fitch. Just sprays down the aggression. Romy is at least making things a little bit more possible for this CT side. Gonna have complete control over middle at the moment, but look at Romy. Go pushing all the way through, clearing out angles, knows that there's nobody over towards this A site. The problem is, he's got a brilliant flank, but it basically relies on his teammate to deny them. Like, they need to do some work here. This flank will be worthless if they're not at least slowed down for a little bit. I'd quite like to see maybe a counter flash just to give him time to actually catch up, but instead, it is just going to be this stack. All the players waiting. Nickelback holding with the AWP. This could be perfect.
Like I said, Bash just has to buy time, and he's going to do that. Not too effectively. It all falls onto Nickelback, actually, as the flank gets shut down even on the site in the 1v2. Both these players tag down so incredibly low, but it doesn't matter because Fish will connect the shot. Down he goes, and Tengri win out this series in a 2-0 fashion. Not as you know, easy as it was for them on Inferno, but still, they win out their map choice as well. A 19-16, a phenomenal game from them. And of course, commiseration to Spirit Academy, who actually played very well there on Mirage.
Yeah, no, it has to be said, they were very good. They managed to come back from what was an 8-round streak as well. And if you consider that, considering it was 15-12, if that 8-round streak doesn't happen, they're actually in a very good position. And they started strong. It's just unfortunate that they weren't able to get going quick enough on their T side. They had a couple of rounds where it sort of went down to very, very close scenarios like 1v1s or the time running out, and you take those rounds out and maybe there's a chance for them to win, but it all came down to really one man having a massive game. Ramzik was absolutely incredible throughout. Obviously, his team, they weren't playing badly. I don't want to say they were playing badly. Sonic, even the bottom fragger, had an impactful round towards the end in overtime. And overtime is pretty much where all the stats are wiped away, and it's about those individual plays. And he was definitely one of them to help them get them through. Obviously, this means, unfortunately, that we will say goodbye to the Team Spirit Academy. We do have the main team playing in Group B tomorrow. But that is actually it for today. The stream is done. We can have some rest. It's actually only 7:15 in the UK, so maybe not going to bed just yet, but definitely going to chill for a bit. Thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. And both me and Harry will be back tomorrow bringing you a Group B.